Ladies and gents, we got another odd shape for you. And yes, I'm expecting some big things. Let's check it out. This is a tactic called the Ruthless Elite 4132 Narrow. It is by a guy who calls himself on the Steam Workshop Circumcised. I apologize for the name, but that's out of my hands. But this tactic right now, it looks like one of those tactics that every now and again I say is going to do fairly well. You got 4 attacking players out of 5. I'm sure you could bring the wingbacks up a bit, get this guy to be playing a little more attacking. But overall, I'm expecting at least one of these teams to do fairly well. And we'll see that in a minute. But as you can see, sweeper keeper in defend, wingbacks on support, ball playing defenders in defend. You got a DM in support, an attacking midfielder in attack, as well as 1 in support, a shadow striker in attack, and 2 advanced forwards in attack. It is a balanced mentality. In possession is attacking with fairly is standard. Approach play, pass into space, and overlap on the left and right. Passing directness is shorter. Tempo is higher. Low crosses and run at defense. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, distribute to the center backs, and roll it out. And out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a standard defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and get stuck in. Now, on the Steam Workshop itself, there is a ton of information. Fantastic job by creating the Steam Workshop with this guy. He's tried this out on several different saves with Elversberg. I don't know Elversberg. But then he tested it out with Bournemouth, Bilbao, Marseille, Roma, Bochum. He's done a fantastic job. He said, basically, in conclusion, this tactic, in my opinion, isn't the best early game, despite overachieving in every scenario, but without a doubt, I am very certain about the later stages of your saves, where you will be constantly competing to win the Champions League. So, there's a little bit more in there, but, I mean, he's got a ton of information, and it's a fantastic workup. Look at the tactic just for that alone. You rarely see that these days. However, how did it do for our 3 teams? Well, Tottenham did very well. 80 points, second in the league to Liverpool's 90. Manchester City at 1 point down. Newcastle at 71. Actually, I mean, in Europa spot isn't too bad. It's probably on the higher side of average. Actually, I would say it's higher than average for 71. Wolves at 53 points. Average, maybe a little lower than average. But 53 points is crazy to be in 9th place, if you ask me. But Tottenham coming in 2nd place is a pretty fantastic job. Tottenham's schedule looks really nice to start out the season. A single loss against Manchester City, not too bad. I mean, it's expected. Up until 0-5 against Wolves away from home, so that's pretty crazy. And then Chelsea's your only other loss, 3 losses in the first half of the season, and that's it. Second half of the season, you are cruising until Brighton, and then until Everton, and then FA Cup quarterfinals, you're dropped out 2-2 in penalties against Aston Villa, which means you win the EFL Cup final. So 2nd place, you win a trophy. How do you do in Champions League? You kick the crap out of PSG 4-1, 2 trophies in a season. Fantastic job. Newcastle not doing too bad themselves. A single loss against Liverpool to start out the season always happens. Then you get into October with you get some points, but not nearly as much as you should have. You are continuing on in all the cups until FA Cup 4th round, you dropped out against Leicester, and immediately following, you dropped out the EFL Cup semis against Tottenham. So unfortunately, you're out from there, but still, I mean, you finished the season pretty nicely. Only 3 losses, a couple draws, not too bad. Wolves, yeah. August kind of sucked. September, October, not too bad. You do have a loss in there. You continue on. You've got no January friendlies whatsoever, so that's kind of interesting. But you are continuing on in the FA Cup all the way until Aston Villa out in extras. EFL Cup, where did you drop out? Oh, you dropped out right at the beginning against Bournemouth. So end of the season, 3 losses in a row. Tottenham transfers, we've seen them all before. Tony Weston comes in, Livakovic for 8.5, and outs 4.4 for Donley this time. I think that's new. Newcastle, they've picked up a couple. Oscar Aranda, Edwards Theo from Real Madrid, 88. Oh, we've seen him before. Donley from Tottenham for 4.4, so that's new. And Ryerson from Borussia Dortmund on loan. Wolves at least picking up Escaio. That's something. And really, no one out. Nope, not even a little. Squad-wise, Tottenham doing very well. Son with a 7-4, Harry Kane with 7-5-1, Kulusevski with 4-9, 7-4-9. I mean, you've got a ton of people in green, which is really nice to see. Newcastle's got a few in the green as well. 7-5-5 for Isaac. Barbosa with 7-2-8. Not too bad at all. Even Wolves doing well. Collins with a 7-0. Jimenez with 7-3. 7-4-7 for Sarabia. Nice. Data Hub, as you can see, I mean, as I kind of expected, extremely shaky in defense, very good in attack. Attacking numbers are through the roof, while defending, yeah, it does lack a bit. Fairly similar for Newcastle. Shaky this time in defense, very good in attack, very good attacking numbers, but overall pretty much the same as Tottenham. Wolves extremely shaky in defense, very good in attack. Pretty much a copy and paste for each three of these teams. A lot of times there's little slight differences. Sometimes there'll be more blocks per game, less tackles, you know, for certain teams, things like that. But this time it's pretty much, like I said, copy and paste. Stats-wise, Tottenham with 103 goals, 88 for Newcastle, 84 for Wolves. Manchester City sitting at 78. I mean, an amazing job by these three teams. Tottenham with few shots against. Nothing. Newcastle with most dribbles made. There you go. Fewest conceded, nobody. Most shutouts, nobody. Tackles, one. Tottenham are in there. Defensively, yeah, not very good at all, but most shots for all three teams are in there, and most points per game as you'd expect. Haaland still coming away, though, with most goals with 24, but Son, Barbosa, Isaac, Kane, Collins, all in there from 16 to 20. Not bad. Most assists, Sarabia in there with 24. An absolutely amazing amount is from what a lot of the tactics that we've seen before. Porro with 12 seems a little bit more realistic. Kulusevski, Trippier, and Isaac all in there as well. Most player of the match awards, Sarabia with 7, Son with 6. Pass completion, dribbles made. I mean, Hugo Lloris and Livakovic are both in there for fewest conceded. Most shutouts, Nick Pope. But most tackles, 1. Almiron, you got some defensive work there, but most key passes, Trippier, Sarabia, as usual, up in the top 2. Porro in there as well. And most shots, Isaac, Cunha, and Jolinton. Overall for Tottenham, Son with 33 goals. Kane with 7-5-1. See, this is where you expect Kane when Tottenham's doing really well. Porro with 23 assists. Harry Kane and Son with 7 player of the match awards apiece. Isaac for Newcastle, 27 goals, 7.55 highest average rating, 17 assists, and 7 player of the match awards. He comes away with everything. He looks like he's just tailor-made for this tactic. And then Wolves, Collins with 19 goals. That's new. Sarabia with 7.47. Fantastic effort from him. 31 assists. Pablo Sarabia with 8 player of the match awards. Overall, I mean, Tottenham did fantastic job here. Newcastle did a pretty good job themselves. Wolves on the average side, pretty much a little lower than average maybe. But it's one of those tactics that it's different, and it's pretty attacking. But if you follow it, maybe make your own tweaks. Maybe you could bring some more points to your team. And then definitely take a look at the Steam Workshop. He has plenty of information there. But that is it for me, Sefian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.